welcome to the 11th panel discussion on the 11th episode of Series 10, World Enough and Time. And today I have with me Jerry Hobson, Jacob Licklider, and Ace Creeper. Jacob and Ace both have some excellent YouTube channels, which I have linked down below. Hello, and thank you for coming on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, howdy.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's
Even though I couldn't
excellent.
be part of last week's like I was supposed to.
It's alright. Literally every single panel discussion, somebody's dropped out last minute and have had to get replaced. I mean, you're a last minute replacement here, so...
Yeah.
Hooray!
Hey. At least I got a really good episode, so...
I mean, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
People have things that come up.
Yeah.
It just happens. Right, so I think we should get right into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about is probably the only part of the episode I have a lot of criticism with, because I kind of wanted to get this out of the way, because I've got a lot of positive stuff to say about this episode, so I thought I'd get the bile out of the way first. And the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Okay, I'm gonna start because
Yeah, okay.
I have opinions. Wait,
Can I just clarify that by the first 5 minutes, I mean up to the point where the blue man appears, is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. It is the most self-referential shit. Like, it's where there's a way to do self-referential stuff in Doctor Who. Like, Big Finish have done a lot of self-reference and poking fun at itself. Right? Like, for example, The One Doctor is an excellent example of making fun of Doctor Who's tropes. This is 5 minutes of Moffat being like, hey, Big Finish fans, I'm being self-referential. Ooh, he's called Doctor Who. Ooh, look at me, I'm so clever.
I know that was done to annoy people, but like that it was made to annoy people, but it just in general it really did aggravate me that she kept saying Doctor Who. Fair enough once, but just stop doing it. Just stop.
And you know, it's not like this is the first time Moffat's ever done this. Like, how many times has he done the whole Doctor Who thing? Like, I remember back in Series 7, in Clara's first episode he was doing it. And I believe there was a bunch of other times in the Matt Smith era as well. It's not fucking funny. Okay?
Yeah, I mean...
constantly breaking the fourth wall just isn't funny unless there's some real meat to the comedy. And it was just really distracting and took me right out of it. It just made me really bloody annoyed. There's no point to it other than to annoy people, because I didn't know anybody found it funny, apart from Jerry, of course.
If I may, about the fourth wall breaking thing, there's a way to make fourth wall breaks in Doctor Who funny, even if they aren't meaty. Like Classic Who used fourth wall breaks a couple of times, and whenever they happen, they're just so out of place you just can't help but laugh. Like the Invasion of Time, where it's the Doctor's in the room and it's like, oh, even the sonic screwdriver won't get me out of this one. Like, that's how you do a fourth wall break. You make it quick. You don't do this whole, wink. Oh, did I mention
the only
wink?
real fourth wall break I have time for outside of a comedy is when Hartnell turns to me on Christmas Day and tells me to have a nice Christmas. I can deal with that.
Love to wait
what if it's Paul McGann doing it in one of the audios?
Was it a comedy audio? I don't think I've heard that one.
It's Relative Dimensions. It's not really comedy, because it's sort of the prelude to Lucy Miller and to the Death, so you have all the emotions. But I'm not going to spoil that there, because...
Well, I think it's pretty obvious by the titles, but yeah. I mean, I've heard it.
I don't want to ruin how... I don't want to spoil it, because I may or may not have teared up just a little bit, because so much death.
You're digging your hole ever deeper. So,
I'm just going to shut up now.
Well, go on, Jerry, as the lone bastion of defence for the first 5 minutes. Tell us why you liked it.
Banner, thought it was right funny. Didn't take it seriously at all. Just sat there and pissed myself. Thought it was great. Doctor Who.
It's a bit jarring with the tone of the rest of the episode, don't you think?
Yeah, totally.
I think it need. I think it could have.
I managed to enjoy the rest of it without that. Just kind of like niggling in the back of my thought, because like Missy to me has always just been a really banterous character, to be honest. Like I've not like, it might be that a bad or a good thing, you know. Like I've never really taken her that seriously.
There was one joke in that entire sequence that was good.
But Jerry, do you know why you don't take it seriously? It's because she's never actually done anything, and she's barely killed anyone, unlike every other Master. That's why you can't take it seriously, and that's a huge problem. And that's why I think she's terrible.
I mean, at least even Sim killed over billions of people.
Yeah.
Even though those deaths were undone, at least, he killed them.
To point out, he did eat a few people as well in the end of time. Don't want to bring that one up, but he did. Yeah.
Oh,
That infamous
eating a burger menacingly, it's still more than Missy has done.
I mean, she killed, what's her name now? Osgood, who came back as a Zygon anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, she was just sort of resurrected.
I mean,
or is she a
the
Zygon?
sad fact about it is the episode where she most felt like the Master was Death in Heaven, which is by far the shittest episode she's been in.
Yeah. That's
Except
a
maybe
bit
episode
like
where she offers an army of Cybermen as a gift to him. I mean, that's what they're doing here. That's what they're doing. They're just remaking Death in Heaven.
I hope not. That was absolutely
No,
awesome.
I don't
I'm going
think
to
that's
give
what's
you
happening.
Mondasian Cybermen this time. You like saying that word out loud, Doctor? Mondasian
The
Cybermen.
Mondasian Cyberman. Yeah, I really don't like that line, and I'm glad it was memed, because it's just a Cyberman. We call it Mondasian Cyberman because we're the audience distinguishing the various ones over the years, but to the Doctor, that's just a fucking Cyberman.
The Doctor likes to get all anal and go on Tumblr and shit, like, no, well, actually, you see, well...
Right, well, I think we've kind of covered that one enough, so I think we should move on to Bill in this episode, because I feel like she's kind of the most important character. What did you think of her in this one?
She was okay.
I liked her. I think she
Other
gave
than
her...
the fact that she was sort of ripping off, it sort of felt a bit like Moffat was trying to do, what's her name? Yvonne from Spare Parts.
No,
Which one was she? Was she the daughter of the
She was
Yorkshire
the
man?
daughter who got, spoilers for Spare Parts.
Don't spoil Spare Parts. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. her.
You know the line.
I
stuff.
don't feel like it was a rip off of her at all, particularly.
nah.
It was a completely different kind of
It
dynamic.
was different. The fate is, it might be because it was just sort of, I listened to Spare Parts the week leading up to the episode.
There's similarities, but I don't think you can say that Moffat ripped it off. That's a pretty obvious thing to do in a Cyberman story.
I really like the scene in general, mainly because of the lead up.
We're talking about
The
Bill,
Doctor
right?
used-
He's got Sim in the moment.
Yeah, but with the Doctor doing his little speech like he always does, you're expecting it to go right. I like how it just, for once, just doesn't.
Oh yeah,
She just gets... I really like that. And the sudden turn of music and the tears in Capaldi's eyes close up when he turns round and Bill just looks in shock. I really like it. I think it works quite well.
Yeah.
It's also bad that I like Bill's fate because it slightly pisses off the Tumblr sort of fans.
Oh
Yeah.
no, Christ! Did you see on Twitter? There were people saying that Moffat was homophobic, and this was
This was
the
hilarious.
bury or gays trope. It's
I'll-
like, what the fuck do you want?
Quote them when they say killing Bill off was an attack on the LGBT community. It wasn't.
Well, that means that her sexuality is the only character trait that they care about, not the fact that
They're the ones
she's
who
got
are
a good
bloody-
sense of humor, a sense for adventure. Is already played by a pretty good actress. No, it's just
You see,
she
it's
likes
funny
women,
because
so-
they're the only ones who give a shit about her sexuality. The rest of us like the character. They just like the fact
Yes,
that she's gay,
exactly.
which is just a really wrong way to view TV and art in general.
yeah.
It shouldn't be about filling quotas, it should be about good characters. And Bill is a good character. And I would like to say about Bill in this episode, she was fantastic. After pretty much since Oxygen kind of being in the background, which was disappointing, she really came into her prime in this one. I liked her relationship with the person who ended up being revealed to be the Master. Yeah. It was just, she put in a really strong performance.
I have
just
a couple
like
of
the
good
character
things
again.
to say about that, but I want to wait till we get to Sim if we get to Sim himself, because
Yeah, don't worry, that's soon.
there's
soon.
some stuff I've really got to say.
I like the fact that her acting performance could show off that she, under the short clips that we've seen over the years that she was down at the bottom of the ship, she obviously, with the character of Razor, in inverted commas, she had a real good relationship with him. And, the hug and everything, and the whole build-up and the talks between them.
I felt betrayed.
Really good relationship.
I felt betrayed when he betrayed her.
Yeah, even though I saw through it, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's still a punch in the gut. I'm like, no, why?
Yeah.
It was kind of predictable, just a tad.
Now, the fact that he wrote a good character there, even though it turned out to be not a character but a disguise, it's like,
Yeah.
that's some good stuff. And so, I think obviously we're missing the elephant in the room here, her conversion.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
My biggest fear is that they're gonna reverse it, just because people say because people have always said. I mean, even in the whole craziness, Moffat's killed all his characters, and this is just because he's homophobic. No, he hasn't really killed off a single character that's been a companion. Amy and Rory, sure, they're dead, but they lived a long, happy life together. They got there happily ever after.
They're as dead as like any character was from a historical episode, you know.
This is the darkest companion death in Survival, I think. Considering Rose got trapped in this parallel universe, Martha just left and like joined unit. Donna got her mind wiped.
Jump to conclusions quite yet. I would like to think that she stays like this, even though I love the character. I like to think she stays like this, and it is just a really heartbreaking ending to a companion. But you know Moffat's track record. Come on,
especially
of Face the
after
Raven and
last
Hellbent have not faded.
God,
yet.
I hate what they did with Clara.
Man, he's already triggered me. I mean, we've already seen that Cybermen cry oil, not tears. What the fuck is Moffat on?
Yeah, that part was a bit weird, because I thought he said the thing they put on her head got rid of her emotions, yet she's crying.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a brilliant scene. It was well done, but that part was a bit odd.
That also might be because, if I have to bring in Spare Parts did a sort of similar thing with... I don't want to ruin Spare Parts,
but that's because in that case, it was kind of botched.
You could say that, that would make
it was kind of like
some
brain
sense.
Damaged.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't, go listen to Spare Parts, please, because it is...
Yeah, it was 99 pence the other day. You should have got that. Well, it's only $2.99 now, and I'm pretty sure it's on Spotify. So
it is on Spotify. I think 1 through 50 are all on Spotify.
Yeah, so it's no trouble to go and listen to if you want it. And I highly recommend it. It's a brilliant audio.
Got a cheeky Spare Parts insert in there. Just goes.
Anyway, I think we should probably move on.
Also, I've heard Legend of the Cybermen is brilliant. If we're just recommending.
Fantastic.
I have it in my I purchased it on the sale. I just have to get around to listening to that trilogy because I got the rest of the trilogy with it because City of Spires was on sale last week. Then I made sure I got that because I was thinking maybe they would probably put Legend on sale this week.
Which one is that? The one in the Land of Fiction?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cybermen in the Land of Fiction is Legend of the Cybermen.
That one's decent. I quite like that.
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to the Cybermen in this story. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It's their best portrayal in New Who, which isn't saying much.
I'd say it's better than most classic Who portrayals, other than like the two earliest ones. Actually,
I would say
it might even be better than those, to be honest.
It's took the creepiest variation of the Cybermen and added more of a creepy twist to them. The whole thing with the button pressing with the pain and kill me, I thought that was really quite eerie and very good, I think.
I mean,
it makes a lot of sense.
With the Cybermen, with like the whole pain thing and the fact that, you know, with the whole top knots, I could swear Moffat just went and watched my What Makes a Good Cyberman story video, because literally every point I made in that has been incorporated into this story that wasn't in previous Moffat Cyberman stories. So
I think the episode also did a really good job at doing the it did a really good job at doing the body horror aspect, but making it very PG, but still making it terrifying. Like
exactly.
Because as much as I would have loved a gore fest, because whenever I listen to Spare Parts, I always imagine just the gore fest everywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was ever making Doctor, I'd have like the goriest Cyberman episode possible. Oof. Like, the BBC.
I know, gore's not something I usually associate with Doctor Who. Like, same with profanity, I know, it just feels kind of out of place.
Although, didn't Missy call somebody a bitch in this one?
Yeah, Missy said, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Aye.
I was a bit taken aback there.
Whenever that happens.
Because Missy said bitch quite a few times, and then Rose said bitch back in End of the World as well. There's been a few little...
Oh, I'd never noticed them.
Up and down.
I mean, I haven't watched End of the World since I was like, 8 or something? Like,
I watched it recently, and Rose...
BBC 3 when I was like 8 years old, probably. That was the last
Rose
time.
calls Cassandra a trampolini bitch, I think, or something like that. before walking off in a huff.
Profanity, I agree with you, Jerry, but gore, I think there's been quite a lot of gore in Doctor Who, and I think it's worked quite well. Like, and you barely see any blood in New Who, yet they had blood in the very first story.
I mean, I'm all for, like,
which...
showing off, like, violence, like, attacking the Cybermen and shit, but, like, not, like, really, what's the word, really graphic stuff.
Gratuitous.
It just doesn't really...
You wouldn't want to be gratuitous. Yeah. I think that Resurrection of the Daleks is kind of the limit of what you could do on Doctor Who without being a bit gratuitous. Yeah. But I think you could really artistically be justified with the Cybermen and having it really good.
You've obviously never read the novel Falls the Shadow, which is... It's a decent story, but it's... Ooh.
Oh, no, I've read Iceberg, which is a Cyberman story, actually.
Oh,
yeah, and that describes
Falls the Shadow
people getting disemboweled by Cybermen.
Falls the Shadow is 300 pages of Benny and Ace being tortured, practically.
Lovely.
Yes.
Let's go order that on Amazon right now.
Excellent. Sign me up, fam.
No, but just before we get past this segment, I would like to say that scene with, like, the pain, when he's tapping on the keyboard, is one of my favourite scenes in New Who, possibly Doctor Who ever. Because it's just really... Oh, sorry, I'm nearly burping here.
It gets you.
Yeah, it's just exactly what the Cybermen should be about showing these, parodies of humans who are so engrossed in their own pain.
And the way the Master's like, oh, don't worry about it. We just turn it off. It's almost like
they just choose not to hear it rather than stopping it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just, I mean, I'm finding it hard to get the words together, but I do know what I'm talking about. Just go watch my What Makes a Good Cyberman story video, and there, you know my thoughts on that scene and why I like it, because that scene is just that video made in the episode of Doctor Who.
Dylan's wet dream.
Excellent. It really is my wet dream. That's probably why I like this one so much, just because it got the Cybermen so right in terms of body horror and how that was portrayed. So, if you've got nothing else to say, I think we should move on to the Master and Missy.
All right, can I just say, it's kind of sad that this, like, the 2 minutes that John Sim had as the Master has been is better than all of Missy's episodes and John Sim's previous episodes combined.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go so far as to say
though
that
there
much.
was
It's
one
only 2
little plot
minutes.
hole that I have to say is
but no.
The line like,
I know everybody's saying that about the whole Missy not knowing, but there'll be an explanation next episode. Moffat's clearly
that's not the plot hole I'm going with. That's not the little plot hole that I was going with. It's just a matter of timing things, because it's been said that Bill comes from 2007, but like the Master was Prime Minister in the Doctor Who universe in like 2007, 2008, and Bill is 2017, and she's pretty young. Like the line is, "Oh, I couldn't be mistaken for someone's for the old Prime Minister or something."
That was
like
all
that.
erased, Jacob. That never happened.
Yeah, no, but the Master said the line like, "I didn't want to be mistaken."
That was literally that was just a reference. Wasn't to be taken seriously. I mean, I don't really remember the details of the Series 2 resolution, but I'm pretty sure everything about John Sim had been erased.
No, it was
everything up until the point where he shot.
Oh wait, never
it
mind.
was it was just before he shot before the Toglafane arrived. Everything before that, so his whole 3-month run up and gaining of everyone's support, that's still a thing that everyone remembers. Because it's referenced in End of Time. Someone says, "Oh, you look like Harold Saxon."
Harold Saxon gonna make Britain great again. What a boy!
But yeah, if his 2 minutes here representative of what he's going to be like in the next episode, then I'm looking forward to it, because he does.
I'd even say as in the disguise, he's acting very much like the Master. Like,
yeah.
A lot of what he was doing a lot of what Jeffrey Beavers and to an extent McQueen does as the Master. Is he's getting close to Bill, making Bill trust him until the inevitable fooled you. It's a trap. I'm evil.
Backstabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got the cunning back, which I don't really feel the new Who Masters
Missy's
have
never
captured
done.
so far. Missy's definitely never done it. John Sims came close to it, but I think here is
Well, Jacoby
definitely-
did it. Jacoby did it inadvertently by being Derek Jacoby.
Yeah, but I liked the cunning of the Master in this one. It was very good.
Yeah.
So what about Missy?
Same as always, really.
Underused.
She didn't do much, really. Outside, like, again, the first 5 minutes was utter cringe, and then the rest was just sort of, here's a comment, there's a comment, while we're really focusing on everything else.
Yeah, well,
I do hope that the last little bit at the end is going to be like, oh, I'm actually going to be evil, because, let's be honest, this whole, oh, I want to be good thing is utter bullshit.
Well, I'd just like to say I'm still very frustrated with Missy. I mean, her characterization has been terrible in general, but specifically for this whole I'm turning good thing, because there's been absolutely no catalyst to suggest that even to the Doctor she might be telling the truth. And it's just never really been explained why it's going on properly. It's just been kind of fleeted over.
I don't know. I feel like she could have had more character than she's been given this series, given the amount of time she's had on screen. She's been in, she's going to be in 6 episodes of this series in total. So she'll, even if they're just little cameos, she could have had a bit more to develop her character rather than the just I'm going to be good thing. Looking at the trailer for next time, it looks like it's going to be a story not only about the Cybermen but trying to make Missy good again. I think that's what it looks like. The whole Peter Capaldi saying, stand with me, it's all I've ever wanted.
You know what my biggest fear about next
that
week
annoys me.
is that they're just going to try to redo the 2 Masters, which is a brilliant big
don't
finish.
spoil that, I haven't listened yet.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah, I've got it, but I haven't listened to it yet. I'm saving it.
I think there'll be some great scenes, but I think the whole major conclusion thing is going to be about whether Missy joins the Doctor or the Master.
And the answer is she's going to go with herself.
Is she? I don't know.
Yeah,
If she doesn't, that's going to be quite annoying as well. Because there's been absolutely no reason for her character to change. Like, there's been nothing she's seen since she's been in the vault, nothing that's happened to her, other than, like, her coming close to death. Which, you know, the Master has that all the time. So there's absolutely no reason for this change, so I just couldn't buy it at all. Like, and this is such a long-running character. You need to have a damn good reason to have such a fundamental change in the character. And
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a damn good reason when they turned her into a woman.
Well, yeah, let's just forget about that for now.
Very controversial.
I'm a bit annoyed that they've categorised on the actual website. They've categorised Missy and the Master separate. If you go on Missy's thing, it says Missy's first ever appearance was in Deep Breath. No, it wasn't. It was back in John Pertwee's era.
It was
the same
Terror
time.
of the Autons.
Yeah, it was. She is the Master. Whether people like it or not, she's that character. I don't like them trying to separate them now. You know.
I mean, maybe they'll be like, "Oh wait, I wasn't the Master. I was Death the whole time, and I've just been screwing with you or something." I don't know.
Well,
that would be
honestly,
stupid.
There's absolutely no way they can resolve like what's going on with Missy's character without pissing me off. Because it's either going to feel like a waste of time or unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
I think it's probably gonna be the former,
they've
to be
dug
honest.
themselves into a complete hole, and I just can't see them getting out of it without me getting a bit cross. She's just been such a poorly handled character, and while I'm not really going to hold it against this episode in particular because she's not in it much, but damn, you really messed her up.
It's a shame because she's a really good actress as well.
Yeah, Michelle Gomez,
like Michelle
lovely
Gomez.
actress.
She can play a good Master, even. Like, there's no denying
She could
it.
play a good Master, but we just haven't.
Give her
an
a big
opportunity.
finish. They'll make her great.
Oh well, maybe at some point we'll get that.
I mean, they made
the Master
Tenet
great
really
again.
good in history audios that I've listened to.
I haven't listened to them.
They're actually really good.
I'm just not motivated enough to go out and buy Tenant audios, if I'm perfectly honest, because there's I just like every other era other than like the Matt Smith era more than the Tennant era. So
Well, here's the thing. It's just, I bought them because I like Donna and Catherine Tate quite a bit.
All right,
and they were on sale.
Let's move on.
Could I just knock something in about the Master very quickly? Just to say how much better it would have been. This counts for the Mondasian Cybermen as well as the Master. If they hadn't announced it beforehand or shown any of it in the trailers, if they just left it, right? They didn't reveal that John Sum was coming back. They didn't show him in the trailers, and they didn't reveal the Mondasian Cybermen. Same there. How big that last 3 minutes would have been if we didn't know about that. Then people wouldn't have been looking out for Sim. Then people wouldn't have known.
The only reason I think that's what they were gonna try to do, because I heard that they had to recut the coming soon trailer at the end of the pilot because people had already leaked the information. Like, I think that's more of a case of
it's just really aggravating because I think most people who are watching will know about Earthshock and how they hid the fact that the Cybermen were coming back, and it caused like a huge stir in the Doctor Who community when the episode
because John Nathan Turner refused a Radio Times cover for that.
Exactly. And that was absolutely brilliant how they did that, and everybody back then loved it. Whereas now you just can't keep a secret like that, unfortunately, because
unless you decide to go totally studio bound for this story, which
and it's a shame.
Maybe they should have.
These moments made me a bit like the John Sim reveal and the whole Mondasian Cybermen. It still made me a bit giddy, but I would have been, just like, whoa!
Yeah.
Had we not known.
If they hadn't announced it, it would have made the experience more like, wow, that's amazing.
It would have had the kind of wow factor that, Doctor Who used to have, even just back in the RTD era.
Yeah.
Because you see, Doctor Who's always at its best when it's not being predictable. And I think that's where the Moffat era has struggled the most, because it became a very predictable show, and even when something surprising happens, it gets leaked or they announce it earlier to kind of get people to come and watch it.
Yeah.
It's the kind of wow that Big Finish can pull off well, because they're doing it all on audio and they can do a lot of misdirect with releasing fake covers.
Yeah, and also the fact that, Big Finish is very small. Like, a few, at most, over 10,000 people go and buy their audio. So obviously there's not going to be as many people trying to leak what's going on.
Yeah, Big Finish isn't really mainstream.
Yeah.
Doesn't get as much attention. And even then, when you see they bring in, when they get the licenses for, new series stuff, no one really cares.
There wasn't a big announcement, it just sort of happened.
Well, I think Big Finish is best at, just being kind of small, just a small niche thing. I can't imagine it as being a big thing.
Yeah.
I think that kind of ruin it in a way, because they'd have less creative freedom.
Yeah.
Right, so we went on a bit of a tangent there, but let's move on to the final bit before the next time trailer. The Doctor and Nardo in this story. They weren't in it much, but I've covered them in every other panel discussion, so I may as well do it here.
I think Nardo didn't really do much.
Non-existent. He's been in half the series.
I think for both of them it was intentional to be non-existent, because this is an episode sort of playing out in quote-unquote real time.
Yeah. Well, for them,
also,
least, for their story.
we never mentioned the direction, because the direction of using all the cuts, because I really hope Chibnall keeps Rachel Talalay as a director, because she's
she's very good.
She is she is underneath Camfield and Harper in my books when it comes to directing.
I put Maloney above her as well.
Oh yeah, Maloney. I always forget about David Maloney. He wrote.
How can you I always David think. Maloney?
I always think it's Camfield directing whenever Maloney does it, even though they're kind of different, but they're both really good.
Honestly, I prefer Maloney's kind of directing. I think he could make, in the Deadly Assassin Part 3, he made a shitty Quarry look absolutely beautiful, so gotta give him credit.
I prefer Camfield for, one, for the Web of Fear, just, those all the shadows that he used.
That's a good point, actually.
Very cheeky. Even underground.
Not even just the underground sets. In the house in Part 1 where the first Yeti comes alive and kills that guy.
That's such a
scene. That scene. When I saw it out of context once, and it in the dark of the night, and it really scared me. I was like, "Ooh, that's."
Oh yeah,
creepy.
I saw it when I was little because I had Web of Fear Part 1 on the Lost in Time box set, and it was.
Yeah.
scary scene.
Yeah.
The fact that we've gone on such a tangent again just proves how little the Doctor and Nardo have been to
Well,
this
have fun.
I assume that they're going to
agreeable.
be in more, because this episode was kind of Bill's episode, which I think is good, because unless Moffat screws it up, this is kind of, the last episode where she's Bill.
Yeah.
It seems...
What did people think of the Doctor's, I can't pronounce it very well, Venusian Aikido?
Aikido. Well, yeah. He did it in the 30 year. It was good then. I suppose it was all right.
I love the line about, wait, I thought you needed forearms to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know that this is the same Venusian Aikido he performed on somebody in Planet of the Spiders?
Really?
I saw on Twitter there's like a side-by-side comparison of the two, and they were the same. Except that they did it in slow motion here, whereas it was just kind of done. Who's
Quickly.
clacking?
Sorry, Razor keyboard.
That's right. Alright, so yeah, let's move on to our overall thoughts on the episode then. Whoever wants to start can go first. And give it a score out of 10.
I'd have to give it probably a 9 out of 10, just because it's just that first 5 minutes that screws everything up. Everything else is really, really good. It's excellent. I really hope that the finale manages to be at least average.
Yeah, we don't
that's
want
all I'm
another
hoping for.
Heaven Sent Hellbent or Darkwater Death in
I
Heaven situation.
don't think we're gonna get as bad as Hellbent, because Death in Heaven, well, bad. It wasn't nearly as bad as Hellbent was.
Of course.
Hopefully, I think Moffat will be okay, but that's what I said the last couple times, and we haven't been. So
I know I had a bad feeling about Hellbent before it aired.
yeah.
If something looks
Heaven
really
Sent.
good, you're gonna hold back a bit. Yeah.
But
I really hope. I hope that, and I again hope that Bill is actually dead this time, if only to have a companion death that actually stays dead or doesn't get a happily ever after.
It'll be the first real proper death for a companion since Adric, which is now 35 years ago.
I'm expecting a Big Finish spin-off with Cyber Brig and Cyber Bill.
Yeah.
Going about saving the universe's Cybermen pals, man. It's gonna be great.
Bill is world's first openly gay Cyberman.
Man,
Fun fact.
that opens all sorts of doors. And it gives the term cybersex a full new meaning.
Go on then, Jerry.
Man, some
Final
cheeky
thoughts.
DeviantArt. Well, obviously, controversially, I like the first opening 5 minutes as compared to you lot. But the rest of it, I quite enjoyed. It kind of sagged in the middle for me a bit. Bill constantly looking at the screen over and over just got a bit kind of not distracting, but just kind of bored. I mean, it's a good way to transition time, but it just really kind of lost my attention towards the end. But John 7 gave me an instant hard on. Looking forward to next week. I'll give it a 7, but depending on the quality of next week's episode, that could change.
Go on then, George.
I'll give it a 9. I think it was a really good episode. Controversial, a little bit of comic relief in the first 5 minutes, yeah. But I would have said again, yeah, the whole thing with the talking with whatever his name was for Johnson's disguise.
Razor.
Yeah, Razor was a bit. It was a bit slow, but upon rewatch, it actually felt a lot. I don't know, it felt a lot better for me. I really did thoroughly enjoy it a lot more, I think. But then, along with the reveal at the end, yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Well, personally, I absolutely love this one. Shit, first 5 minutes, but after that, excellent. Some brilliant scenes with the Cybermen, which really show off the body horror of them. Lots of excellent scenes with a great chemistry between Sim's character of Razor and Bill, which made it all the more kind of heartbreaking when it turns out he betrayed her, which I didn't see coming, which was excellent. And also and the cyber conversion at the end, brilliant. I don't really have much problem with this episode other than the first 5 minutes, so 9 out of 10, pretty much. I thought it was done brilliantly, and it's the Cybermen story I've been clamouring just forever. Ever since I was awakened to the fact that the Cybermen have been done crap since, the 60s when Kip Pedler was doing them. This is the story I've been wanting, and I've been giving it. I just really, really hope that next week can live up to this episode, or at the very least, not be crap.
Wouldn't get your hopes up, man.
I haven't got my hopes up. I think we've kind of already given our thoughts on the next time trailer, but if you've got anything else to add...
Well, I've got a couple of things. I've got one thing to say mainly about the fake out. I guess you could call it a fake out regeneration that we know is coming. Because we all know it's coming, that it's going to be a fake out. One, for the people saying that the first Doctor regenerated on Mondas, he didn't. He regenerated in the TARDIS in Antarctica.
He didn't regenerate in Antarctica, actually. He regenerated in the
Were they in flight?
They were in flight. Because remember, they landed on Vulcan without the Doctor touching the controls.
Oh, yeah, because the TARDIS was like, holding with it. So, yeah. One, he was going from Antarctica to Vulcan. I don't think Mondas would be in there because Vulcan was far future. Mondas, that was 1986, I think, is when it was supposed to be set.
Yeah.
Two, we probably aren't going to see David Byerly as the first Doctor. I know you all are clamoring for it. It's not going to happen.
Well, no, Jacob. Did you see the video where somebody asked about it and he said, "You didn't hear it from me"?
You know, you do realise that someone reported today that the hotel he's staying at in Cardiff, he actually told the person who works there, he said he's working with Peter Capaldi. I mean, they are filming the Christmas special like right now, so that's a little bit of a giveaway.
Give him a fucking hand job, you know. He's in the episode.
He's definitely
he's in. All right, okay, I'll believe.
Even if it's just a cameo, he's
also
convinced.
Not to mention that the first Doctor's TARDIS has been noticeably removed from the Doctor Who experience currently. As well. That's not there now at the minute.
Oh no.
I'll believe it when I see it, only because we've had many rumors about great things happening, cough, cough, Wheel in Space, and several others, several other stories.
Evidence for that. Yeah, literally everything
just a lot of
points
evidence
towards it. I'm not saying it's certain, but I'd be pretty damn surprised at this point if it didn't happen, given the evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it is a little circumstantial, but I'm willing to bet money with you on this one.
Okay. All right. Oh, also, Zarbi for Series 11 finale villains.
Yeah, I agree.
That's...
No, I disagree. I want the Dominators back.
Actually, no, I changed my mind. I want the Dominators back. I'm with Jerry.
There we go.
Dominators.
No, we can have the Dominator. Okay, so Dominators can be
Dominators
opener.
versus Zarbi. Excellent.
We need to have the Dominators versus the Zarbi, who are secretly being controlled by the Crotons.
Yes.
And at the end of it, it's revealed that the Crotons actually have a higher power. It's the meddling monk.
As played by Graham Garden.
And then the meddling monk is actually being controlled by the Master, who is actually being controlled by Rassilon, who is actually being controlled by spirits from a different dimension, who are actually being controlled by Sutek.
By Adric's dead fucking spirit wandering about.
There you go. I think that sounds like an excellent story in the making.
Man, what can I say? Man, Dylan, we need a collab on this right now. Fanfiction.net. That's what's happening.
Can I ask what did people think about the pre-credits regeneration tease?
Don't care.
Again,
it's
just
regeneration
a fake
shit.
out.
Yeah, you know, I've had one fake out this season already. You know, you see, regeneration used to be something that was so special and so big, whereas now it's just been reduced to kind of
built up.
No, but I mean, like,
with, I think.
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, the whole value of regeneration has just been diminished. It used to be a big event, whereas now it's just like, you know, par for the course. You'll see regeneration energy all the time.
Yeah, like, I know Pertwee into Tom Baker was built up because Pertwee, at that point, was the longest running Doctor. Because he had 5 years under his belt when he decided to go. And now it's just like, maybe I'll regenerate.
Although, if I swear, if this is actually another fake regeneration, I'm going to be fucking mad.
It won't be because his hair's a lot longer. It must be around the Christmas special.
I mean, I know it won't be, but if it is...
What would be interesting is if they decided to give the next Doctor like half of the Christmas special to be the Doctor, and that would be interesting to see.
Yeah,
we've got to bring this to a close now, unfortunately, as we've overran time by quite a bit. So thank you all for coming on. Been a lovely discussion.
Oh, too right.
And I'll see you all back next time for The Doctor Falls.
Ah.